You are listening to the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network. Visit pencilandpaperproductions.podbean.com to find more great podcasts.
Welcome to the Palace of Megapixels. This is Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo!
Welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host, Stephen White. With me is my co-host, Lacey Finley.
Happy Monday.
It is cold outside. This is wrong.
It did drop again. What is up?
I don't
we
know.
We had 70-degree weather. Then we had snow again. Because Chicago is never done with snow this early in the year, apparently. Or late. And then it got to 70, and then it dropped back into the 30s again. I'm like, Mother Nature is very confused.
Yeah, she is. I mean, today, when people are listening to this, I'm sure it's warm again. But today, when we're recording, it's cold. I had to get warm pajamas on, turn on the heat again, because I thought I was done with that. But it's too cold.
I tried putting away the winter coat, and then when I saw it snowing, I'm like, come on. We were done. It's not the first time, though, we've had snow in April, but it was just...
It's just, I mean, you're getting so used to the warm weather, and you're just like, yeah, it's that time now. Mm-hmm. And then, no, we got one more day for you. Just to mess with you. Yeah.
Like I said, man, just keep those warm clothes in the car. I could leave the house at 70 in the morning and come back home, it's 30, you know? Yeah. When I'm leaving for the day,
So I guess I'm glad I'm not in Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, it melted immediately, at least, but you know,
still just the idea of it being there.
It was sad, and you look out, and you're just touching the glass, of tears rolling down your left cheek. Like, no, and it snowed all day too. Like it wasn't messing around. It was those big, gross, wet flakes. Yeah. And then the next day, it was just moist outside. I know some people hate that word, but moist. Throw it out there to you. Moist.
So, outside of beating the cold and the snow, what have you been playing?
I've actually still been playing Phoenix Wright, trying to get through those stories. Man, they really are longer than... And like I said, I know when I'm streaming it, I'm talking a lot. There's huge chunks of times I just stop. But I feel like that last case was almost 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah,
so if I'm taking out my talking time, probably like 3.5, 4 hours. Because there's so many... like little twists that keep happening. Like you think you've wrapped up the case and then one new thing gets exposed and you're like, crap, we've got to go back and investigate and have a whole other court day again, you know? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think I just now finished episode 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you're still on the first game, Ace Attorney?
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Well, I mean, I only stream 3 days a week and one of those days is a VR day. So technically I'm only doing like 2 days a week with it, and I mean it's one of those I could probably easily play like a whole episode off stream and no one would notice, but I haven't had time usually outside of the stream to sit down and play one. But man alive, I knew the Apollo ones were pretty long, but I guess I should have just assumed that this was going to be same form, especially since I think it was before the Apollo series. So yeah, it keeps you busy. And this is still, I still got 2 whole other games to go. And I'm not sure how many episodes are in the first one. I want to say, I think I saw like 3 more.
I think they all usually come, if I'm not mistaken, with at least 4 cases. That one that you're playing, if they've added it in, which I'm pretty sure I remember reading they had, there was a special case that they added in, which made it 5 episodes. And it wasn't in the original game. It was something they added in later.
Okay.
So as long as that's there, you should have 5. But then the rest of them, I think they're only 4 cases.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's a pretty meaty game. So I'm impressed. If you're the type who buys a game based on how long you're going to be able to sit down and play the game, I feel like it's been worth it so far.
Yeah.
Although, like, I get to the point where sometimes it's exhausting when I think I'm done and it just like a whole other thing happens. I will dock some points for that where I'm just like, I was ready to wrap it up. It's kind of like, sometimes like when you're playing a Tomb Raider game and you feel like the endings come on like 4 times and then you just have fatigue from the ending by the time it finally comes. You're like, okay, all right. I don't want to go investigate again, but fine.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah,
exactly.
Once in a while, it's fine, but if you didn't have enough game, that's okay too. I guess I'm a curmudgeon. I just find the older that I get, the shorter I like my games. Yeah, because it's like guaranteed I'll finish it. Then if it's too long, I might stop playing.
I mean, I can stand with you on that. I mean, I see what you mean. In fact, I can probably relate to that in my games that I've been playing.
Oh, yeah? What have you been playing this week?
Well, I finished Unravel 2, which we still kind of did co-op, but as I mentioned before, Katrina and platforming don't mix, so she would always wind up on my back, and I would just take care of it from there. But it's still, it was still a fun game. It could really make you think. There were even challenges where it was like very small levels. It was just a setup, and you had to look at it and be like, okay, how am I going to get both of us up to the spot? So you'd have to kind of navigate the puzzle they've kind of set before you and just figure out how you're going to get there. And then that's pretty much it. It's not a very long level. It's just the length of time you're going to spend on it is trying to figure it out. You know, which I thought was kind of cool. So they didn't try to extend it or make it massively long or anything like that. But the game is beautiful. If you remember the first Unravel, it had that photorealistic, design.
It looked great.
Same thing. I mean, I could say that they even, pushed it a little farther, but I couldn't tell you for sure. It still looked gorgeous. So I recommend it if you want to play it. You can play it alone. You can play it with a friend. I would recommend with a friend because I feel like it does warrant that couch co-op.
Right.
And then Doom.
Nice.
I finished it, and kind of what you were saying, being a curmudgeon, you kind of done with the game. I was on the path to trying to say, you know what, I'm gonna try to platinum this game because this is a hard game. This is a challenge. I could do it. And I've looked through the trophy list and everything, and I thought, yeah, this is doable. And after I beat it, I was like, nah, I think I'm done, because I did most of everything they said, but the last 2 things that they have left, I just don't. I'm just like, I don't want to go back.
Requires more effort than you want to put in.
Yeah, it's just like I don't because it doesn't seem simplistic, I guess, in its nature. Because the first one is I got to go back into I got to finish all the challenges in a game or in a mission. And I've done that. I've done that. But the last one, somehow, and I was playing the mission with the challenges in mind, saying, okay, I just need to kind of keep my eyes open for this one thing. And it was like you got to defeat 2 barons with 1 shot. So I thought, well, I'll just take them out with a BFG. Boom, boom, boom. I never saw 2 together. So once I was being chased, I would just run around waiting for the other one to appear. Never saw him, so I was like, well, I guess maybe it'll come farther down the line. And then it never did.
Yeah, it would have been the same way.
So eventually it was just, I met the boss, and I was just like, well, I guess this is it. So screw it. I get out of I get out of the game. It says you've won, you beat it, and I was like, okay. And then just the effort of going back, I was just like, I don't want to go back through that again. And then you've got your weapons, not your weapon challenges. I did all those. But then there are rune challenges. So you have these runes that you collect in the game, and you can equip them, and it'll kind of boost your stats, like give you a special ability. Like if you have, what is it? There's one rune that says, like, if you have over 75 or 100 armor, then you have, like, infinite ammo. And if you can, do so much of a challenge within that rune, it'll boost its stats. I think it starts off as 100, and if you can do whatever the reward is or the challenge, then it'll cut it back to 75. So there are all these runes. As long as you can do certain things, you can boost your stats and have some special whatever. There was one last one that I didn't do because once I started figuring out some of the quirks to some of the others, like they'd say, do a death from above kill. And I'm like, how do I do that? All you got to do is stun them, jump up in the air, and come down. And that's it. And I was like, aha, I can do that.
As long as your feet are off the ground, I guess, when you're killing them.
So I figured, hell, I'm in the motions of killing these guys anyway. I'll just make that a habit of doing so. And I started getting all these runes. But I've got one left, and it essentially requires me to be close to death, be revived, and then go kill all the demons a certain amount within a certain time frame. And I'm like, but then I've got to go try to die.
Yeah.
I just don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then the last one is even worse because I have to beat the very first level on the absolute hardest difficulty. I tried for a moment, and I was like, I don't want to do this either. So I think I'm just going to let it sit. I think I'm done.
I've never done the achievement hunting thing, so I guess, like, I understand that it's a thing, but I can't remember the last time, like, I've beaten a game and then just went back and seen the achievements. You know, like, what did I miss? Or, like, I think Shapeshifting Detective might be one of the only ones that I peeked at it because then it gave me a gauge of have I seen all the different people who would have been the murderer, you know, since that one's random. So in games like that, sure, if I want to see multiple endings, I'll go for the endings. But yeah, I've never had the patience to like have the sun line up at the right time as you've got 50% health and slow-mo just happen to trigger at the right or whatever it is. You know, I'm just like, nah.
Yeah, I mean,
if it happens by accident, great. You know?
I mean, what I'll do, I mean, before I start a game is I will kind of look over the trophy list and kind of get an idea as like, does this seem achievable? Could I do this in a playthrough? Because if anything seems like it's just going to be a hassle, I go ahead and put it in my head. Don't even worry about it. Just go. When I looked at that one, I was like, yeah, I think I could do that. You know,
Seems
maybe.
doable.
Like Phoenix Wright, for example. I thought it would all be story trophies and stuff like that. But there are little things that you can do to get other trophies. So I made notes of them because it all requires you to have a dialogue piece about something or something like that. So I thought, well, I'll just make notes of those, and if I can remember as I'm playing through, I'll do that.
Yeah, those are my ones that I get by accident. When I see it pop up, I went, oh, hey.
Yeah. But I just
an achievement for something.
If I can't do it within a playthrough, if it requires me going back and really going through it again, chances are I'm not going to do it. You know, really, really slim chance. Thimbleweed Park I did only because going back and playing it on easy mode cut out so much of the game. So it was like speed running. So you didn't have to go through certain puzzles and everything like that. It was just beat for beat, just get through it. So I thought this will be simple. It's cutting down on a lot of things that I have to do. So it just depends. And I think I'm really getting to a point where it's just like, you know, I'm not going to go out of my way. If I feel like I can do it, I'll do it. If not,
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right, let's talk about some news.
Let's do it.
All right. So when we recorded the podcast last week, a full trailer for that game that we spoke about, Jedi Fallen Order, hadn't dropped yet. So after we ended, the trailer came out.
Yeah.
So we had details that we shared that were kind of based on what this trailer was kind of showcasing. So we have more details now that I just want to kind of go over and share. The first is the story is set to take place after the events of the Revenge of the Sith film, Episode 3. You'll play as a character named Cal Kestis. Nailed that. Who's a Padawan who survived the Order 66, which is where the Jedi were wiped out by the Emperor. He looks to have been hiding within the Emperor until his powers exposed him, like something happened, and they were like, oh god, he's a Jedi, kill him. So then now he's on the run, he's trying to get away, and he's got a little, like we mentioned, the backpack sidekick. His name is BD1. He tries to escape the Empire's elite Inquisitors, the second sister who are trying to hunt down, I guess, the remaining hidden Jedi. Cal will actually be portrayed by Cameron Monaghan, who I think most will be familiar with him as Gotham's version of the Joker. Like,
Okay.
that's where I know him, even though I don't watch the show. I've seen his face enough times to be like, oh, that's
Right.
the guy that plays the Joker on...
That guy.
That guy.
Yeah.
The game is said to take place on multiple planets in a semi-open world setting, like we kind of said, and combat. I think we mentioned last week it was, said to be like Dark Souls-esque, whatever. They kind of elaborate a little bit more, said it's more about striking, parrying, and dodging. Sounds like Bloodborne, Dark Souls,
Sure.
whatever. EA also went on to say, and I love this, okay, they went on to say that there will be no microtransactions in the game. And they were just like, hey, guess what, guys? We're not going to put microtransactions in this game.
Yeah.
And,
Because we knew that they knew that was going to be the first question. Like, oh, sure. As soon
Yeah.
as they put in those microtransactions.
And my only response to that was, do you want a cookie? I mean, we shouldn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
We're not going to applaud you because you didn't put it in this game. Up yours.
Well, they're kind of one of the biggest offenders of it, right? So
Yeah.
It's like they felt like they had to put it out. Although it's like the feedback that I've been hearing, I hope it stays on the path that it is, because I know a lot of people who have just been excited for a really good Star Wars game again.
Mm-hmm.
They're making it sound like this could be it. And so I hope you guys get it. Get it.
I mean,
You know?
I'm going to wait. This is not a game
Yeah.
I'm going to rush out and buy. This is a
Right.
game that I'm going to sit on and wait to hear something good. So we'll see.
So we'll see. I know it takes a lot for me to want to buy from EA anymore, to be fair myself.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I mean,
yeah.
Unravel 2 technically was under that banner, but it was
Oh,
also
yeah.
that, what do you call it, that they had that program. Damn it. I can't-
For like the indie decks
Yeah.
or whatever.
So
Yeah.
I was looking at
yeah.
from an indie perspective when I got that game. It wasn't like, oh gosh, EA.
Yeah,
It
at
was just
least
like,
in that case, you're supporting a developer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So there's that. I also forgot to mention, I actually wrote this down, or I think I wrote it down in my head because I didn't have it on paper. That I forgot to mention Vader Immortal, which is a Star Wars VR game that's coming out
Oh,
for
yeah.
the Oculus. And from what I gathered from the trailer, they said, and other details that kind of came out, you play as a smuggler trying to escape the clutches of Darth Vader, or at least kind of what I got from it. The game will be split into 3 episodes, with each episode focused on a specific element, such as lightsaber combat or force powers. So I think, as they said, one mission you're just going to be swinging around your lightsaber, the next one you're just going to be doing force powers, and then the other one, I don't know.
It sounds kind of cool, actually, and I'm not one that gets like really bought into the Star Wars stuff. Like I have nothing against it. It was just never something that I grew up
Sure.
fangirling over. But it looks kind of cool from a VR perspective.
Oh, yeah.
So
And it's on
that's what I'm
Oculus.
kind of looking at, because I'm like, that could be fun, actually.
Yeah. It was also announced, maybe this might be a selling point for you, that Maya Rudolph, if you're a fan of hers, she's going to be voicing a character, ZOE3, who is a
Okay.
droid that will act as a player's partner and co-pilot throughout the game. And they said,
Nice.
if you're a fan of, you said you're not a Star Wars fan. Did you ever happen to
I mean, I've
possibly-
watched all the the originals.
Okay.
I never sought out. I've never seen like 1, 2, and 3 or any of the offshoots from there.
So you've never seen Rogue One, I'm guessing?
No, I've seen 4, 5, 6.
Okay. Well,
I'm a
Rogue...
Harrison Ford chick, I guess.
Maybe.
Like I've seen those, and that's the ones that's where I stopped.
Well, in Rogue One, there was a droid that I think a lot of people enjoyed that was voiced by Alan Tudyk. He was a very smart-ass type droid. And they said she's going to kind of be in that same vein as that
seems
character.
to fit for her.
Oh, yeah. That would be perfect.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say bubble bath one time.
Just once.
Just once.
Maybe she'll sneak it in.
Yeah. Bubble bath. So the next story I've got, and this is kind of threw me for a loop this week. Sony, or last week I suppose, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo all kind of threw down huge console announcements, seemingly from out of nowhere. I feel like everyone was playing one-upsman here.
Right.
Most of the stuff was rumored, and nothing was official up until this point. Early last week, we had Sony's own Mark Cerny opening up about the PlayStation 5, which they have not talked about until now.
Right.
He is the lead designer on the project. He actually pointed out last week that the console isn't just an upgrade, and he specifically said that it will feature a third generation AMD chip, a variant GPU of Radeon's Navi series, will support 8K graphics, which I still can't. I'm just getting into 4K,
Dude,
man. You know, they keep upgrading.
It's sounding pretty impressive, yeah.
They also said that it's going to support ray tracing, which has not yet been supported on a console. That's kind of been only a PC thing.
They're still figuring out how to work that in with games too, right? Like it's still such a new thing. Like even the next graphics card that just came out just now is supporting it. So it's very much in its infancy.
Sure.
So I am curious to see how that unfolds once developers really grab hold of it, you know, and figure out how to really make it work.
Now, another PC-only option that he mentioned was the addition of a solid-state drive, which would not only provide more external storage, but can radically reduce the load times, making them up to 19 times faster than a PS4.
Yeah.
An example he used to demonstrate this point was fast travel in the game Spider-Man. And what usually takes, or what does take, 15 seconds, give or take, on a PlayStation Pro took 0.8 seconds on a PS5 dev kit.
Yeah.
So it was said that the console would be backwards compatible with the PlayStation 4 games as well. So I'm kind of hoping you could utilize some of that speed on those games, because that would be pretty awesome.
I would imagine. I mean, it's just hardware at that point that's making it go faster, right? I don't think it would have anything to do with the developing of the game.
Right.
Like you got a hardware that can process everything you've put on that disc faster. I would assume.
And especially
it would still be faster
if they're doing, they're kind of utilizing PC hardware, or it seems like they're really kind of.
Well, I mean, honestly, if you want it to go bigger, better, faster, harder, that's what you need to go to. I mean, I know I keep seeing the jokes like, "Congratulations, console people, you've had what PC has had for years." Well, instead of making that joke, really congratulate them. This is well, we don't know how much it's going to be.
No.
Because we know even with the PlayStation 3, they kind of mucked up that whole let's make it ridiculously expensive, you know, out of the gate. But, I mean, it's still going to be more affordable.
Well,
so a lot of people who, yes, they may just genuinely love consoles, or it might just be a thing where you don't have $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to spend on an amazing gaming computer. This is going to have higher cores than my PC right now, and I have 7. This one's coming out with 8, or at least what they're saying right now. Like, it might be faster than what I've invested in here.
I mean, I'm kind of with you on that, because the next point I was going to bring up was price. They didn't announce anything, but there's rumors circulating that we're talking the $500 mark, which kind of seems like it's an in-between to the $399 and the $599 between what that was the PlayStation 3 and the 4. So this is a middle ground. Maybe that's what they're aiming for, because $600 for the PlayStation 3, that just seemed ludicrous.
It was. And people bought them and sold them on eBay for $15K. So, you know, like I just remember that whole debacle. So apparently there were people out there with the cash to do it.
But why would you?
I mean, with the specs he's throwing out and with me having built PCs, I mean, it seems to be hitting right about the right marks. I mean, solid state hard drives are still fairly expensive. And what were they talking, a terabyte?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
so,
more.
I mean, I know my 500 gig one was at least, and I bought on the cheap end where we're talking about $200. You know?
So, I mean,
and that chip.
Yeah.
I can't price it. Like, it's being used for that. Like, it's not a market thing to my understanding right now. So,
no. I mean, it's not unreasonable to think, especially when you throw in things that are fairly new. When you've got 8K ray tracing, that kind of stuff, and it's new technology. I understand that Sony's going to probably have to take a hit to appease everyone, but I also feel like consumers need to understand, look what you're getting, you know?
Right.
I mean, this is
and that
not
might
cheap.
be a default of consumers too. Like if you've never ventured into pricing out PC parts and stuff like that, that price point is going to shock the crap out of you. I know it for a fact. Like I said, I've just built a few, so I've seen them staring at me, you know, so I mean, really and truly, with the exception of having to buy like a power supply and like a cooling system and like a case and all this kind of stuff, this could easily be $800.
Yeah. So, who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
But again, this is not set in stone. So we'll wait and see. We're just speculating.
Hopefully, they'll stay between that 400 and 500 sweet spot, because that seems to be a number that seems reasonable to people and doesn't, frighten them.
Yeah.
You go much over 500, that's when you start getting into the.
Well, I feel like
don't know.
if they want to stick with a $500 price point, I feel like they're going to have to really sell it. I mean, they're going to have to show what this baby can do and just be like.
Or be willing to take a smidge of a cut or a hit on it. I don't know.
So.
Like, I don't know how all that would work as far as recouping it back.
Right. Now, a day after all that, Microsoft came out and unveiled the long-rumored diskless Xbox.
Xbox sad.
Yeah. Known as
That's
the...
what it like. Isn't that what the abbreviations come out to? Like, I heard
Pretty
about this
much.
yesterday, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
The Xbox One S all digital, so SAD.
Who does the naming of this stuff?
It's exactly like an Xbox One S, but it has no disk drive. So it just takes that hardware out and it saves you $50. And you get Minecraft, Sea of Thieves, and Forza Horizon 3. All for the starting price tag of $249.99.
I feel like they went too high.
You think so?
I really do. You can find like an Xbox One right now. Now, granted, it's probably used and stuff, but if you look at like a GameStop or $200, a regular Xbox One, I feel like they went a little too high on the all digital, especially when you're marketing to people who you hope has amazing internet.
Yeah, that's true.
And really wants to go all digital.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a little high. I feel like they should have come down $50 at least.
Well,
because it's still the same console. You just have no disk drive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like
it
didn't improve specs or anything like that, right?
Nope. Everything's identical, just minus the disk
I feel like
drive.
they went a little too high. So it's a little fascinating. I'll have to keep an eye on it and see how well it does. But
yeah, for sure. It comes out May 7th if you happen to be one of the people excited for this thing. And that also confirmed one of our truth or trash rumors.
Yeah.
So got that marked
down.
down.
I feel like I said truth, or I could just be trying to snipe a point right now. But I
can't remember. I know.
I don't remember well enough.
I've been keeping track since the beginning of the
year.
But
I feel like I did, because like that was one week where I actually kept myself up to date. And when you mentioned it, I'm like, oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
I remember reading about this.
Now, along with the all-digital Xbox, Microsoft also announced the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which finally bundles together the Xbox Live Gold and Xbox Game Pass into one flat rate of $14.99 a month. Mm-hmm. Now, there's no word yet when this new bundle will be available, which kind of seems odd that you just go ahead and put it together.
It might be all coming out about the same time as the console or something like that. So we'll probably hear soon.
It was also said that a few Xbox insiders will be chosen to try this out before launch. And again, how do you try this out before launch? What do you do?
Maybe they just want to test how stable the servers are or things like that.
But
like,
you're just combining two things that already exist. So
clearly we don't know enough about how any of this works.
I don't. I'm so confused.
Because I feel like each week now we're like, how is this even? We should really like intern at a studio or something.
Yeah, maybe.
See what it is.
Lastly, while this wasn't, I guess I spoke a little out of turn at the beginning. This wasn't technically an official announcement, but reports did surface that seemingly confirmed rumors that there is a new Nintendo Switch coming later this year. This particular version is said to be smaller and more portable while still retaining the home TV accessibility. The report also suggested that there is a more powerful version of the current model in the works, but will not be released anytime soon. So like a beefier, meatier Switch.
Switch 2.
It's like you've got the Switch over here, and then you've got the Switch, and then the Switch. So, I wonder if they're catering.
I hope that's the commercial too, because you know how they always like snapped or whatever in it. You've got like the dainty one that snaps, you know, and then like Arnold Schwarzenegger snapping at the end or something.
So I kind of wonder if they're making a beefier Switch to cater to the hardcore gamers, the ones who are just like, I want to, you know, the snobs out there.
We are snobs, you're right.
But not everybody.
Bigger, better, harder. Yeah.
I just, you know, I think, no, I'm just going
to. Well, at least now there's options, right? So those who want it can have it.
Yeah.
And those who don't care, you've still got probably your cheaper version.
Yeah, because, I mean, think about it. You got the casual gamers that, you know, might have the smaller, lighter price point would appeal to them. Maybe the features of taking it on the go seem more likely to them. Yeah. But then you have the hardcore gamers who are willing to fork out the money, so you jack it up about $100 and say, here, this is more powerful, you know, 4K and all that stuff that you want. You want it? Here, go buy it now. And it's just the Switch.
Bring it in if you can. I just would imagine, like, to compete with PlayStation or Xbox, though, they would have to up it an exorbitant amount. But I mean, I feel like, for what it was, it's perfect. It does exactly what you need it to do.
Well,
I don't have one, but
well, I've always found it fascinating that Nintendo used to keep up with the market. Like they were trying to groundbreak. Like when, you know, the PlayStation came out, here came the 64. I mean, it was like, no, we're going to take it double what you're doing, and we're going to really change the landscape. You know, Super Mario 64 just like blew everybody's minds. It was like, oh my God, I've never seen a game like this. Yeah. You know, and it was like when the GameCube happened, and they were trying their damnedest to keep up, and then they kicked over to the to the Wii after that, and then from there on, they're just like, yeah, you know, we're not worried about power. We're just worried about what can we do to innovate.
Well, maybe they just realized where their place was.
Yeah, and
you know,
that's
like
fine.
There's probably somebody getting paid to sit up there and look at the numbers and what their fans are doing and saying, and the consumers, you know, practices as far as their brand is concerned.
Yeah,
and went, you know what? People just really enjoy the old school feel of gaming, and we can fill that niche.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the Switch has been doing really well.
It has. I mean, you know. I feel like as long as they can, I feel like that's their audience. You know, I mean, I give my love to Nintendo for so many years, and I guess in some ways I wouldn't mind playing some of the new games, but I don't feel like I'm missing out on them.
Yeah, I haven't felt that yet myself.
So the fact that there's an audience out there for it, and it's not necessarily our audience, but it is an audience, and people are loving it. That's great. You know, like you said, they're filling that void of casual gamers and other gamers who've stuck with them. You
just gotta love the fact that it's bringing more indies to people's homes.
Yeah,
too.
For sure.
I mean, that was something like most PC people were the only ones who could get their hands on. It was like one of the only hardwares that made it accessible for indie developers to do. And the fact that they're swiping all of them up, like, that's huge kudos to me.
Sure.
You got a leg up on me now, man, because you can take those on the go. Mine's attached still to my heavy PC, you know?
Yep.
That was my only, like, kind of selling point that almost made me want to buy it. But I'm like, I'd just be buying games that I already own again, just for the sake of travel. And I don't leave enough. You know?
You're too much of a homebody. It doesn't matter.
I really am. You know, like the 2 times a year I might wander away from home for like 4 nights. You know, it just doesn't seem worth the investment. But
now, while all the big dogs were making their headlines about their new consoles, Capcom steps in from the back door and dropped this new product that I don't recall ever asking for, and I don't remember anybody else asking for. The Capcom Home Arcade. This monstrosity, if you saw this, is a plug-and-play device that is nothing more than just this big table with 2 joysticks and buttons, and it says Capcom. So
it's an arcade.
Yeah. So does. Hypothetically, you know, but I swear to God, it's a table, and it's just the Capcom logo with joysticks and buttons. And obviously this is meant to simulate the old arcade machines, but, you know, I kind of feel like you're missing a cabinet to go along with it, because this thing is going to have to sit in your lap.
So there's not even legs?
No. Not that they didn't showcase legs. Maybe there are.
mean,
But
the way you describe this table, I feel like
it just seems awkward. I mean, when you look at it. So I feel like it deserves a cabinet maybe. But anyway, I don't mean to sound critical about it. You look at it, and tell me what you think, because it just, I don't know. Anyway,
I guess it would have to sit on a table. It would have to.
Yeah, or something.
Okay, anyway, but yeah.
Anyway, it connects via HDMI. It has built-in Wi-Fi, so you can share your high scores with leaderboards, because that's a thing that people love for some reason.
Yeah.
And then it comes with 16 classic arcade titles. Now, which titles do you ask? Well, let me tell you. We've got 1944, The Loop Master.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah. Armored Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Capcom Sports Club. Ooh. Captain Commando. Cyberbots, The Full Metal Madness. Darkstalkers, The Night Warriors. Eco Fighters. Gaiga Wing. Pro Gear. Am I selling you at all on any of these?
I'm starting to feel like I need to revoke my gamer card.
Okay.
Like, so far, I think there's like 2 of those games that I think
I intentionally skipped over the bigger names just to see.
I was going to say, I would hope. Well, there's 2 that come to mind that I hope at least is on there for their sake.
I mean, you would think there would be certain games on there, but let me just touch on those.
Yeah, we'll hit there eventually, right?
Super Street Fighter. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. So it's Street Fighter, but Tetris.
Okay.
Okay.
Probably jumping on the Tetris 99 thing. I got you.
But then,
all right.
Then you also have the original Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting.
Okay.
Strider. Do you remember that one? Okay.
I don't.
It was
Street Fighter so far is the only one that I'm like, yeah, no, I totally did that in the arcade.
Strider, if you remember at all, the guy, he's like a ninja, and he had a sword swipe that looked like this gigantic blade that would cover. That's the only thing I could tell you that would maybe possibly.
Is it with a Y or an I?
I. Strider. I used to play it a lot. I thought it was fun. What else do they have? Mega Man: The Power Battle, which was a Mega Man fighting game, which you can actually get on certain collections, and it's okay, I guess. I mean, it was. I messed around with it a little bit, but it's not something I always went to.
It was Mega Man, so you had to try it out.
Yeah. Ghouls and Ghosts, which was the hardest platforming game on the Nintendo. Okay. It was terrible. Final Fight, which was a beat 'em up that was on the Super Nintendo, and and what? Oh, the one selling point, I saved this one for last, that I think that everyone was excited for was Alien versus Predator. I don't remember this in arcades, so I wasn't like, oh my god, yes! It was just like, okay, cool.
Okay, well,
now
how much is this thing?
Well, for starters, how much?
I feel like this was I'd buy that for $1.
I mean, how much would you pay for this thing?
Well, honestly, I wouldn't. Like, I start off with most of these.
If
I'm not the market for this. But looking at the massive size of it, I feel like it has to be a couple $100.
I mean, it's 260
just to recoup
ballpark.
on the massive amounts of plastic that you put into this thing. I assume it's plastic.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Because, I mean, otherwise that would be freaking heavy.
But $260 is ballpark figure. It's available for pre-order right now. It comes out on October 25th. And what I'm honestly surprised by, and there may be licensing involved here, but they got Alien versus Predator, so there were a lot of popular games like Marvel vs. Capcom, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, and a bunch of other Street Fighter games. Just surprised they weren't on this list, but I mean, whatever. Capcom, you do your thing.
You do you, man.
Yeah, and we'll be like, yeah, dude.
We'll just keep talking about you, is all.
The last story I have is kind of non-gaming related news, but it does tie into gaming, as we have a tendency to do. But last Monday, the Notre Dame Cathedral caught fire. Yeah. And, as of this recording, there's been no cause other than, no, nobody's
They
been
thought
suspected.
it was something to do with the renovations that were happening. Some sort of accident within that was the last I heard.
Yeah, officials have stated they don't suspect terrorism or arson or anything like that. So the reason we bring this up, or I'm bringing this up, is obviously there's a tie-in.
Yeah.
The world at large has been incredibly generous, with over $1 billion having been pledged to help with restoration, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. One such donation came from Ubisoft, who donated over $500,000 to the project, along with an announcement that Assassin's Creed Unity will be available for free on Uplay for 1 solid week. So as of today, I'm assuming today or maybe tomorrow, you still should have the ability to go get a copy of Unity for free if you want it. And the reason they're doing this is it takes place in the city where, Notre Dame, and that really shows how geographically sound I am, because my brain is just turned off and I'm really trying to think, where's Notre Dame at?
Yeah. Oh, France?
Is it in France?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. My brain was just like, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to follow it up with,
No.
I did forget about it.
I have forgotten. My brain
And I
was
guess
just,
that's why we're pronouncing it wrong. It's supposed to be Notre Dame. or
Notre
whatever.
Dame.
I'm sure I said that wrong, too, because I'm terrible with the accent. But, yeah.
But anyway, in the game, you have the ability to explore the majesty and beauty of Notre Dame, and they wanted people to see it, because I would assume they recreated it stone for stone as it was. So
that was kind of the rumor mill that I was seeing. I don't know if I found anything concrete that was going to be one of the things that they could go back and reference in their rebuild because of how detailed that it was.
I mean, and they
again, this could just be rumors that I saw floating around, but
I mean,
they did.
I don't think that Ubisoft would have half-assed it. I mean, I'll give them credit where credit's due. When you see how they recreated certain things, certain elements of the world,
They do build really lovely worlds.
Yeah, and everything is as accurate as you can possibly get it. So I'll give them credit there. If they can use that as a reference point, hell yeah, do it. Because I'm sure they put the detail in there.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some Quiggets.
Yeah.
I've got a frog in my throat for some reason, and he won't come out. He wants to make me gurgle. God. While we're talking sad news, of course that kind of went up. We're gonna go back down ever so slowly. I don't know if you heard this or not, but there's an actress by the name of Maya Celia Naylor. She was actually set to have a role in the upcoming Witcher series, and she died suddenly, which no one knows what happened, and she was only 16 years old.
Oh man.
So as of right now, when I got all this information, I don't know. I don't even know who she was going to play on the show. So I don't know how much of a. I don't want to make this sound bad. I feel I don't know
how large the role was.
Yeah. So what are they going to have to do to go around that? But I don't mean that in a
not in any disrespectful way. Yeah.
I'm just curious. Right. But I hate that. I'm kind of curious. I want to know what happened, because 16 just to drop and just that's it. I mean, what the hell? I mean, it has to be some sort of. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm
you
just
think an accident or something, right? Like,
well, they just.
That's where
all I heard is she collapsed, and then so it could have been a medical condition that was unforeseen. So who knows?
Right. Man.
But yeah, thoughts and well wishes all around him. I hate to hear that. It was also announced in the Wall Street Journal article that we kind of mentioned about Sony, or was there one? Maybe they were talking. I don't know who they were talking about with the PlayStation 5. Anyway, point being, Sony has chosen to take a firm stance against sexually explicit material, saying that the size of the companies has grown to means that doesn't. I copied this completely, and that just the size.
Now
of the
that you're reading
companies,
it, you're like, wait, this doesn't sound correct.
Oh, I got it. The size that the company's grown to mean It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, it's grown to mean that it has a higher risk of damaging the company's reputation over sexually explicit content. There, it's not a quote completely, but you got the gist of it.
Okay.
The hashtag MeToo movement was one specific factor in the policy shift that resulted in Sony taking a harder look at how games content portrayed women. I am struggling today.
Okay, well, that I could agree with.
Yeah. So essentially, it's saying that, if you were disappointed that God of War, the new God of War, didn't have all the TNA that the old games have, well, guess what? You better get used to it because that's the norm now. And, I wasn't sitting there going, man, I'm just so mad. There ain't no boobs in here.
Right. I was just wondering, I don't know that would have ever crossed my mind.
Yeah, I was just like...
I don't know, maybe, because I can remember playing the first ones going, oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
In a couple of the scenes.
But that's what they were. I mean, if you'd have had any of that in this game, it would have completely undermined the whole concept and construct of it.
It would have felt like they were just throwing it in for the sake of throwing it in.
Yeah. So,
which I feel like a lot of the times is what it is.
I feel like as long as it's not whatever you're omitting, which I'm okay with this. It doesn't bother me as long as what you're omitting is not hurting the game itself. If it was just gratuitous nudity or sex or whatever.
Well, like I've often said, you're hard pressed to ever convince me that having that in the game furthers the plot and would not have been just as strong without it. Even in movies or anything like that. I'm just saying, I've yet to have someone argue it so well where I'm like, you're right. Her boobs really did need to come out there. We would have been completely lost on what was going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
or his ass, whatever we're using here. But, yeah.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It was just a nice feature for, I guess, some people to get to stare at for a little bit and move on.
Sure. So, yeah. Good on Sony, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect it, but good for you.
Yeah.
GameStop announced a new return policy called Guaranteed to Love It, in which customers can purchase a new game on launch day and return it within 48 hours for a full refund of trade-in credit. And Days Gone will be the first game to be tested under this new policy. Mm-hmm. I want to know, because it's going to happen. There's going to be that one guy.
I already know what you're going to say.
One guy who's going to go home, play the shit out of it for 2 days, and then go take it back. They will cut off the rest of their life just so they can go get trading credit for this game. Me personally, hey, that sounds like a great deal, and if I could swindle them out of $60, I would probably do it. But I'm not going to sacrifice my life.
And how many hours did they say of at least even cutscenes or story as in Days Gone?
A lot.
Could you even do it in 2 days? Even if you slept none?
I
feel like it's more than 48 hours worth that
Probably.
I remember reading.
Was it?
Now,
more?
I could be wrong. Comment if I'm wrong.
Well, I feel like, maybe it was 6 to 8 hours worth of cutscenes, just cutscenes. So, you still have gameplay that you have to go through. So you're going to be watching, at least 8 of those hours are going to be cutscenes.
Yeah.
So can you play and finish the game within 40 hours?
I guess, I'm sure someone will figure out a way.
Yeah. I can see the guy right now. He's plotting. I just wonder
if that's opening up that door or if they're going to specifically select which games are a part of it. I feel like starting with Days Gone, they're banking on the fact it'll be too long.
Mm-hmm. No, I think without a doubt, because that was what I was kind of looking at. I did some research when they were talking about this, trying to make sure I understood it. Mm-hmm. And it's not every game. Certain games, I think they're going to be under this banner. So they're going to select, you're guaranteed to love this game. We almost positive it's going to be a hit. Right. So I think that's what they're going to do. There are going to be certain games under this banner. And then, we'll kind of go from there, which I think is smart. Do not put every game under this, because if this was...
how easy it would be to keep flying through them? And I do like that they said specifically day one releases, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it's if you're buying it on release day,
you have to have it
a week later.
No. Yeah. It has to be day one. So if you didn't buy it on day one, it doesn't apply.
Right.
So again, there are certain rules in place, which I think is smart if you're going to do this.
Which is needed, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see how this works out. I feel like it could work out to a point, and I also feel like this move is almost in what do you call it? It's almost like a response to what we've seen out of.
The news hasn't been great for them.
No,
as of late, right?
Well, I was the game that came out, and it's so terrible that I've even forgot what it's called. Not the Apex Legends, the other one, Anthem. God damn.
Oh,
you know how Anthem?
So many people
Everybody was just like,
that.
"Oh my God, Anthem's going to be the greatest thing ever!" And then it came out, and it was like, "This is terrible. This is shit." And then even Sony was just like, "You know what? We'll give you your money back."
Yeah.
So maybe this is GameStop.
Well, it ended up bricking things,
Yeah.
right? And just straight up not working. So that was when, and hats off to Sony, where they're like, okay, this was not the consumer's fault whatsoever,
So I'm kind of curious if this is kind of a response to that, where you have this game that everyone was excited for and everyone was getting hyped for, and then it just bombed so bad. So this is like, if they put that guaranteed to love it on there and no one loved it, it's like, well, bring it on back. And it's going to hurt them.
I feel like it's a business response, though, from GameStop because they haven't been doing so well.
It could
be.
It's
probably trying to incentivize people to want to come back in and buy physical copies from a brick and mortar store again.
Yeah.
Like people just seem to not be doing as much of.
Well, not when you have the Xbox One S.
The Xbox sad.
The sad box.
That's all I'm going to be able to call it now. I'm just saying.
I didn't even realize that until you said it. Yeah. The Xbox One sad.
The Xbox One sad.
What else I got? Oh, the Walking Dead, the Telltale Definitive Series was announced for all platforms except the Switch. So if you want the entire Clementine arc of stories, then they're going to put it all in one set. If you've never played it, then, there,
it's a good
perfect.
Deal.
Microsoft said that it plans to give Xbox the biggest E3 presence ever.
Nice.
Which I don't feel like will be hard because no one's going. So they can just open up the floor. She's like, we're taking it all, man.
You are the main event.
Yeah.
So do it right.
Mm-hmm. PUBG was fully banned in Nepal due to concerns made by the Metropolitan Crime Division, saying that young players are becoming addicted to the game and more aggressive after playing. So, I didn't realize it was so big over there. I thought everyone over there was playing Fortnite, but PUBG.
And maybe that if Fortnite hasn't made it there yet.
Perhaps not. Who knows?
All right.
I mean, the game's already dead, right?
Let's just throw away all of our research. All right, it's fine.
Yeah.
We'll just nod.
Mm-hmm. A new Lego Star Wars game based on Rise of the Skywalker was confirmed, which I know you're excited for because, you love Star Wars.
I am bouncing in my seat.
Mm-hmm. A remake of 13 was announced, coming to PS4, PC, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One on November 13th. I remember this game vaguely when it came out, and I always wanted to play it, but I never got a chance. So this is.
I heard it was not amazing, but since it was like graphically, it looked really cool because it was like the cell shading comic flair to it. Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But because it looked so cool and played so different for the time, that people were able to forgive that it wasn't that good of a game.
Okay.
So I'm interested to see how it holds up.
And maybe what you're saying that it wasn't such a good game is why I never sought it out too much, because I probably read something, because it did. It looked awesome, and I was like, oh man, and it was new for the time, but I never did. So meh. So we'll see if it's worth getting. I'll get it. If not, then.
Yep.
Former Nintendo of America head honcho Reggie Fils-Aimé joined Twitter last week.
Ooh.
Yeah, so if you want to go follow Reggie, you can follow his Twitters.
Here we go.
Hey, did you know that Twitch Sings is now available to play on PC?
I did see that. Everyone has access. Congratulations.
Woo. Are you going to get it?
I already had it.
Oh, so.
Remember, I got into the beta.
Well, I didn't know if you could.
Like
I didn't know if it was you had to play it on their platform, or if it was something.
Oh, it's definitely on. You have to have the Twitch app.
Ah. Well, that's stupid.
Yeah, it's definitely their thing. It's called Twitch Things. You've got to have their app. But I never even looked to see if it's like a cost though, or if it's just a free thing that just drives traffic to their app. But yeah, every time I played it, I had to open up the Twitch app that you download on your PC, and then because it has its own built-in launcher from there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well,
so yeah,
good for them.
Yes. I'm just happy for all the people who kept, I can't get in. Why are you being a favorite for this person? Like, now you all can go terrorize the karaoke Twitch world. Or not. If you just want to keep it to yourself, you can do that too.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, we were talking a moment ago about long games. Mm-hmm. It was said that the Mortal Kombat 11 story mode will roughly be around 8 hours, which seems average for some games, but much longer for a typical fighting game.
Yeah.
Because, I think you could usually breeze through. I'm going to use a hypothesis.
Campaigns were always very loose, right, in those types of games.
Yeah, because I think, even with 9 and 10, where they beefed up the story, I'd say 3, 4 being really, really generous, you could probably beat the game in. So you could beat it in a day, easy.
See, I felt like the campaigns were mostly your tutorial, like introducing you to every character, and then you figure out who you like from there, and then you go on to play the game.
Yeah, because with those the other two games, it was like 2 hours worth of cutscenes, and then the fighting in between. So that that's pretty beefy. Which, considering what they're doing, from what we know of the story. Mm-hmm. I'm going to assume that they really had to say, you know what, there's a lot going on here, and we don't want to cut corners. It's fine. I'm perfectly fine with an 8-hour thing that I can kind of come in and out of. That also said, the game will have microtransactions, but only for cosmetic items. So
that's fine.
Don't worry about anything. I'm perfectly fine with that, too.
Yeah. You want to buy new pants, go buy new pants.
Mm-hmm. and you know what? I remember when this came out, it reminded me of when X came out and there were microtransactions and how bent out of shape people got over easy fatalities.
But were any of them like pay to win features? I don't remember.
No. There was easy fatalities. So there were like these little tokens you could buy, $5 and you get X amount of tokens, and it just allows you to hit 2 buttons and then boom, you do a fatality. And people got so pissed. How dare you? And I was like, you don't have to buy it. It's not like they're telling you.
Well, they're just thinking like, I guess maybe it's, do you get allocated points for being able to pull off a fatality when you're in PvP matches?
No.
No? Oh, okay. Well, then that was going to be my argument for them, but then never mind.
No.
Like, do you win more?
No, it just makes fatalities easier. And you can earn them throughout the game. It's not like that's the only place you can get them. It's something you can earn within the game. In fact, I started up X the other day just to kind of mess around with it because I was, trying to get myself hyped for the new game. And I realized I had 2 of my that I didn't know I had. And I was like, oh, cool. You earn them. I've never bought easy fatality tokens in my life, but you can earn them.
Yeah.
And
all right, well.
I didn't get it. Now, I will say, because I heard this argument after the fact, like here recently, and I thought, okay, I can kind of see that. And they said, well, isn't that kind of a shitty thing to do to hide the easy feature? What about disabled players and stuff like that? And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. But I don't feel like that was their intention. Like, let's rip off all the disabled players.
Yeah. No. I don't feel like that was the case either.
But anyway, yeah. Cosmetic only, microtransactions. If you want to buy new pants, you can buy new pants.
There you go.
Cool. The long gestating Halo series from Showtime, it seems like it's really pushing forward because they have found their Master Chief. Mm-hmm. Do you know who it is?
I do. I can't remember his name, but I know him from American Gods.
Yes, Pablo Schreiber.
Yes.
He was on American Gods. He's Mad Sweeney. I think other people might know him more from Orange is the New Black as Porn Stash.
I had to be reminded of that. Like, as soon as I saw his character, I went, oh, yeah, because I only watched, like, the first 3 seasons of that show before I lost interest. And I'm like, I remember that guy now. Yeah, I didn't like him.
No, he was a jerk.
No. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean he's moving up.
Good for
I mean
him.
he's a good
I hear
actor
he's like
too.
a big dude too.
Oh yeah. Fun fact: do you know who his brother is?
Is it Liev?
Yes.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. When I saw the last name, I never went and sought it out because, stage names and
Sure.
whatnot. So I wasn't sure,
Mm-hmm.
like Michael Keaton's name isn't actually Michael Keaton.
Right. And I don't think they're full brothers. I think they might be half brothers, but don't quote me on that. If you want to go find out, go IMDb it. But I do know that
let's
they are
Google this or
related. I do
something.
know that they're brothers. And finally, the film adaptation of Minecraft has a solid release date of March 4th, 2022, with
Why
director...
are we doing this so early?
I don't know. With Peter
Okay.
Sollett, whose only real major film credit is Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, which, I mean, it's a good movie, but he's not done anything else, really. And he's going to be the director. And this is the other odd part about it, too. I was almost, when I read this, I was like, wasn't Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny attached to this at one time? I apparently forgot that apparently he was removed or he left the project back in August of last year. So I was like, oh, okay.
Well, maybe when they told him it was going to be 5 years of his life.
Yeah, I mean, he's got other things going on. I mean, I'm sure he was just like,
I don't know. That was just a rude comment that I made. But damn, 2022, though.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that stuck out in my brain where I'm like, why are we announcing this movie so early?
I don't know. Well, it's an animated picture. It seems to take forever. They announced Super Mario Brothers.
They talk about it at the end of 2021.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Super Mario Brothers from Illumination was announced last year, and we've not seen hide nor hair of it.
Yeah.
So animation takes
whatever.
a while. We know this. Okay, are you ready for some...
One thing we do know.
That's the one thing we do. All right, you ready for some truth or trash?
All right, let's see. Oh, you have a pen.
I do. I was prepared today.
Nice.
All right, first thing. Apple has spent $500 million on the Apple Arcade gaming service.
Ooh. $500 million.
Yeah.
With a B.
With a B.
I feel like for Apple money, that probably isn't that bad. And with the news of the way gaming is moving forward, I'll probably get this wrong just based on the sheer amount of money. But I'm going to say true.
Okay.
The billion might be what screws me, whereas like it was actually like 500 million or something like that, But
Meh.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In the next one I've got, I mean, we've done this dance. I mean, there's going to be so many debunked when this finally is fully announced. But Rocksteady's new Batman game does not feature Batman, but instead the Suicide Squad.
So the next
It's not going to be Batman. It's going to be Suicide
Gotham
Squad.
game.
Yeah. The next Arkham game is Suicide Squad.
True.
I mean, at this point...
I feel like the ship has sailed on the hype for Suicide Squad, but sure.
I mean, there's a new movie coming out. I mean,
that's true.
In a few years.
Well, then maybe they'll time it alongside that.
Yeah, maybe. The next one I've got is Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Will release on the PlayStation 5 in 2021.
Well, we know it's going to regardless, right? It's going to get at least beefed up and put on that console. So, but the question is, will it be released before or after 2021? That seems reasonable. I'm going to say true.
Okay.
Because, like, I feel like those games take a long time.
Oh, for sure.
And if we're thinking 2020 release on PlayStation 5, then yeah.
Okay.
Sounds reasonable.
Now, I have one more. And
Okay.
this came very, very late in the day. Like last night.
This morning. Okay.
Okay. And I thought this would be fun because you're going to get 9 chances for points here.
Oh.
Okay.
Is this another Mortal Kombat thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So just go true, true, false, true, false, true, true, false.
Well,
That's how much I know.
actually, let me rephrase that. You're going to get 8 because I'll explain. Apparently, a list was leaked last night of every DLC character coming to the game.
Ooh.
Now, none except one have been confirmed. We know, because they've announced, Shang Tsung will be in the game. So that's 1 out of the 9 that
Got
we know
that
for sure.
pin in it.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's done. So I have 8 more names, and you tell me whether you think yay or nay.
I miss Todd right now.
Oh, yeah.
He would probably be able to help you a lot.
Because looking at the list, I'll say this, just from a fan standpoint. Some of the names on here are just like, yeah, I could see that. That's a.
Okay, so do you know whether it's true or false?
No, this has not been.
Then you play along with this one too, man.
Okay.
Put your own little mark on there. Let's see.
All right.
Coming from somebody who's a fan of the series, it might be more interesting for the listeners.
For sure. So I'm going to start with the Mortal Kombat staples because there are those, and then they have the oddball ones. And I'll say again, as a fan, I feel like these choices, if they are real, are a little underwhelming compared to Jason, Leatherface, Alien, Predator, because you really pulled out the big guns, and then now you've maybe run out of people to choose, and it's just like, okay. But still, interesting choices nonetheless. So, first of all is Nightwolf.
Don't know who it is. I'm going to say true.
He's the one Native American character in the game.
Oh, well then true.
Yeah.
Just because let's go for diversity.
Yeah, and I mean, that's not a stretch. He died, unfortunately, in 9, if I remember correctly. So
And they've all been murdered a million times at this point, though, yes?
So, but if they're doing time travel, he could come back.
Sure.
So, yeah, I could see that would happen.
Or we took his DNA and, oh, my God, they did him again.
Sindel, which is his queen, Shao Kahn's queen, the one with the hair.
Oh, well, then true. We want them to be lovers together.
Yeah. And again, not much of a stretch. Fujin, who's the god of wind. He's like...
I feel like I know that name.
Raiden's... I don't want to say his second in command, but like his partner. He's a god. He's a god too, like Raiden, just of wind.
True.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm in it. And the last one of the staples is Shiva. She's like the female Goro.
I feel like I've seen her too. Yes, true.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because I knew that name.
Now we're getting into the oddball territory.
Okay.
First one is Spawn.
You know what? I'm going to say true because I feel like I've heard this floating around for a while.
I have
or
too.
People have just really wanted it.
I think people really, really want it. And it doesn't seem like it would be that far-fetched because Scorpion is Spawn in a manner of speaking. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like he
Just
would...
like slapping on a new dress.
Yeah, it doesn't seem... And I know there might be somebody out there going, they're not the same. I know. I just mean in essence of this demon... The hell spawn, the fires.
Like there's good enough backstory there that it would be reasonable to expect him to land in this universe for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. So it does not feel like it's that odd. So I would agree, yeah. Because again, I've been hearing that a lot too. Mm-hmm. The next one is an odd one because I feel like, I'll just say it.
And it's probably going to be the first one too released.
The Joker. Now, hear me out.
Okay.
As far as him fitting into this whole debacle, I don't see where he would come in. But, considering NetherRealm Studios made Injustice, and they can cross... it would.
They've already got him created.
Yeah, it wouldn't seem that odd to see that character come in and then they really give him a chance to just be gory. That said, DC had a problem with the characters doing fatalities in that Mortal Kombat versus DC game years ago, so
they just don't want their brand associated with something so gory,
or they don't want to see their characters killing people, and which is stupid for the Joker. I think maybe it was more for Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and all that. But
yeah.
But I mean, Joker's killed not tons of people. I personally feel like this is a no, because he just seems like the odd one out.
I kind of want to lean towards no, just after listening to you explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't said no yet, so I'll say
and again,
trash.
The last two can fit easy. Like, I think what I'm hanging on to is the time travel element that they're working with in this game. Mm-hmm. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, they could really work in here, or other elements as well. The next one is the Terminator. And again, time travel element could work. Yeah. The only thing I'm curious about is, would you have an Arnold-like Terminator, or would you do some new design where you can tell it's a Terminator, but
I'm going to say trash.
Okay.
Just because I don't know that I like the idea in my head.
I can understand that.
I mean, some people might be excited for it.
I wouldn't say I'm excited per se, but I can see where it would fit, so I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
The last one.
My first disagreement.
Okay. And I've got the last one now. You're really going to have to hold on to your butt.
Okay. Good thing I'm sitting.
Ash Williams.
Oh, see, but I always allow my heart to talk in these situations. I never use my head. But you know what? I'm going to say true, because he's got like this little resurgence in the games, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
people are. Oh, and I'll just say this: if Bruce does the trailer, I will buy the new Mortal Kombat game.
Bruce needs to do the voice. If this is true,
it always has to be the voice.
Yeah,
yes.
There better not be.
But I mean, when he did the trailer for Dead by Daylight announcing it, that's when I went okay, and I went and threw my money at it.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't touched that game and I don't know when.
I mean, me personally, there's going to be voice acting. There's going to be those cut scenes where they interact. Yeah. Think of all the funny stuff.
Oh my God,
they could just sit down and it's like, okay, this is your interaction with this character. This is your interaction with this character. Imagine Bruce Campbell having a one-on-one with Johnny Cage and the shit that would come out between them.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Because Cage would come out with his cocky demeanor, and then Bruce would throw it right back at him. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of want that to be true.
True because I want it.
Yeah. All right. Now it's time for...
I'd buy that for $1.
So, do you like Xbox?
Well, I have nothing against it.
Okay.
But I'm not going to get one.
Okay, well, that's fair. Do you know anyone who loves it obsessively, like to the point that they're going to defend the worst possible games, calling them gems in a crowded market of crap, and all it does is make you want to drown them in the nearest toilet bowl?
I know quite a few people like that with lots of things, yes.
Okay. Well, maybe you or someone you tolerate would love this new line of official Xbox gear designed by Numbskull Designs.
Oh,
whether it's a piece of clothing, I said a piece. I got a piece of clothing. I don't know why I had a lisp. Whether it's right there. I'm just gonna do this as Mike Tyson the rest of the time. Whether it's a piece of clothing, accessories, or household item, they got you covered. I hear you asking right in your head right now, what amazing items could you be possibly talking about? Well, okay, I'm just gonna throw you now. I'm just gonna throw out what these things are. These are all official, mind you.
Okay.
This is official gear.
You knew you had to look it up for me, right?
Yeah.
Like it is officially licensed.
This is official.
Voice.
You just tell me how much you think this is going to be worth. You don't have to buy it. I would really hope that you wouldn't. But, okay, first up, we have official Xbox One controller button coasters. So it's like the buttons of the controller, but they're coasters. Mm-hmm. So you got the XBAY and then the colors.
Okay.
How much would you pay for a 4-pack of those?
The coasters?
For coasters.
A 4-pack of coasters.
Yeah.
Are they just like regular cork with plastic?
I mean, I didn't really look that deep into it.
Okay.
They're just coasters.
4 coaster, $15? Like, I feel like that's even too high.
Well, hey, sold. It's $10.99.
I
Okay.
was going to say I felt like it was too high. But see, I always get blinded by the officially licensed.
But
I
hey,
don't know
I mean,
why.
that's good. That's good. The next one is a controller. It's an Xbox One controller metal keychain. It looks like the controller, but it's a little metal keychain. Yep.
$6.99.
$7.99. So I mean, you're close.
I was getting there.
The next one is an achievement unlocked keychain. It looks like it's a keychain that looks like the little achievement bubble that pops up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about it.
$8.99.
$7.99 as well.
Okay. Like just keep bouncing around it. I'm like thinking there might be more metal involved in that one.
The next thing is a metal badge heat mug. It's a coffee mug that has a big Xbox logo on it that looks metal. Yeah.
$10.
$14.99.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you got
I
to
just
go
can't
up a little
quite
bit.
hit it.
What about some pattern socks? They are green and black socks with random buttons, controllers, and it was a hodgepodge of
How many
design.
pair? Just one pair?
Just a pair, yeah.
Oh
They're
my
ugly
God.
as sin too, by the way.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
I mean, most socks that have a ton of patterns on it like that are god awful. $9.99.
$8.99. So you got it. Yay.
I keep bouncing around that
That's fine.
$1. I think with everything I've combined together, I've probably hit it almost right on the head.
I don't know about you, but I'm not paying $8.99 for a pair of socks.
Not for one single pair of socks. No.
Yeah. What about an Xbox One pattern snapback hat? It's a douchebag hat with an X's on one side.
A snapback hat?
Yeah,
is that like from the 80s where it used to
No, with those
snap?
It's what the kids wear today, where the brim is just so.
Oh, I thought that was just because they don't bother to curl it anymore.
It's a snapback.
Okay.
Like I said, a
I didn't know that
douchebag
was the
hat.
word.
Douchebag hat. Think about
But
it.
they're actually like it's up, like you would put your sunglasses on your head.
I
or
guess.
something like
I guess
that.
so. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a douchebag hat.
So a hat with X's on it.
Yeah. I'm trying
This
to
one's
drill
probably
that
going to
home.
be more. I'm going to say $20.
$16.99 actually.
Jesus.
And the next, or the last thing I have is a carbon fiber wallet. It's a black wallet with the logo in one corner and 3 stripes that look very 80s, like green, a lighter green,
Trifold?
and then white.
Trifold or bifold or Velcro?
It kind of looks Velcro, but I think it's actually trifold
Okay.
or bifold.
I don't know why I thought that would help my decision-making skills, but
It's
it
a
made me
wallet.
sound smart.
It's a wallet.
Like, I know wallets. Aren't you impressed? $11.99.
$16.99.
Flirting around 5 over, 5 under.
Mm-hmm. But this entire line of Xbox gear is currently available for pre-order right now, with an official release in May. So get your Xbox on.
So your Mother's Day Xbox style.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me do some release dates while you're gussying up over there. On April 22nd, there we go, my brain. We have Jupiter and Mars for PlayStation 4. Then on April 23rd, finally, Mortal Kombat 11 arrives on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Dragon's Dogma Dark Horizon for Nintendo Switch. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, The Fate of Atlantis, Episode 1, Fields of Elysium. Wow, that is a long title. It's a DLC addition to Odyssey. It comes out on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Then we have Beyond Enemy Lines, Covert Operations for Nintendo Switch. On April 24th, we have Deponia for Nintendo Switch, Unknown Fate on Xbox One, and SteamWorld Quest, The Hand of Gilgamesh for Nintendo Switch. Then on April 25th, it's all about the Switch, because every game I have listed is for the Nintendo Switch. We have, Agalos. Yep, that nailed it. Vandals, Vectronom, Box Boy plus Box Girl, Lost King's Lullaby, Homo Machina, Typewriter, and Death Coming, all for the Nintendo Switch. Then on April 26th, it's Todd's favorite day because Days Gone is out
It's Christmas.
for PlayStation 4, Mario Chronicle Hyper for Nintendo Switch, Ugly Dolls, An Imperfect Adventure for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Super Blood Hockey for the Nintendo Switch. Then on April 27th, we have Goat Punks for Nintendo Switch.
Goat Punks?
Goat Punks.
Okay.
Okay, Lace. Since I wasn't really sure what we were going to do today.
Yeah.
And I decided, since Todd wasn't here, and I didn't want to set up like one of our discussion topics or anything like that, I figured maybe I would test a new game on you. And
okay.
And because of the way this game kind of plays out, I'm going to forego what the hell did you just say. So you don't have to play that today, but you do have to play our new game, which I'm currently calling Name That Game.
Okay.
And then there's a theme song playing. You hear that song playing? I love that. And I hope that our listeners, some people know what that theme that I just played was.
Me too.
Yeah. I know what it is. So I just hope everyone else does. If you don't, hey, that was a new experience for you, and I hope I found your new favorite game show.
Congratulations. You're living life to your fullest now.
Okay. So what we have here is I'm going to give you a description that is either directly from the game's developers for a game, or maybe I've slightly modified it to omit anything that might be a giveaway to the title. So, just kind of hiding a little detail. I'm going to tell you what the game is based on what I got. And then you have to tell me, with the multiple choices that I give you, which game is it. Okay.
Liking this so far.
All right. So here's the description for the very first game. You and your friends quest along a land and meet, quote, a lot of enemy and puzzles in this JRPG-style game.
Okay.
So is it A, Azure Wing Rising Gale, B, The Adventures of Golly, C, Sky of Destruction, or D, Dinosaur Bone Digging?
I really want it to be D because the description is so far off from that title. I'm going to say C.
Sky of Destruction?
Yeah, that sounds JRPG-y.
Well, you are wrong because it is The Adventures of Golly.
A or
B.
B.
Mm-hmm.
B. Damn it.
Yeah. The description actually says you play as Golly, and I was like, well, I can't say that.
Oh, yeah, you got to skip that. That's cheating.
The next one actually threw me for a loop, and I was going to make some adjustments, but I thought, nope, you know what? I found enough that I think I could throw you off.
Oh, you probably can.
Because it seemed like there's no way I could possibly find enough names, like games named certain things, that you'd just be like, oh, yeah.
That works, yeah.
But I did. So, this is a jump and run game where you play as a hare and you must collect gold coins in each level to progress. Is it A, Joe Jump, B, Funny Bunny Adventures, C, Breaking Bunny, or D, Batteries Included?
I feel like it's going to be B or C. Can I hear B and C again?
Mm-hmm. They are, B is Funny Bunny Adventures, and C is Breaking Bunny.
I'm going to say B.
Funny Bunny?
Yeah.
It's actually C, Breaking Bunny.
Damn it! Because I don't know why Breaking Bunny just sounded so much more like intense.
Right,
and serious.
I know.
Like Breaking Bad. I was like, so this hare's making some meth, man.
That's what I thought too. I thought, well, this will be something,
But I mean,
play
he
on
is
that.
collecting gold, right?
Mm-hmm. So there's that.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, this next game, I swear to God, the games that come out in this world,
It's something now, ain't it?
Yeah. Okay, so this game is an adults-only adventure where you are a fly and you must eat moldy food that gives you the energy to hunt down the stinkiest treasure of all, a pile of shit, that activates a special power that allows you to see through women's clothing. Yeah.
All right.
So, is this game
It's like Leisure Suit Larry Really Weird Edition?
Yeah,
you
I
know?
mean,
Okay.
yeah. So, is it A, Captain Fly and the Sexy Girls at the Nightclub, B, 7 Sexy Sins for 7 Sexy Flies, C, Captain Marlene and the Boob Job, or D, Fly Girl Observe Project?
Oh my God. I think it's A or D. And I'm probably gonna go with the wrong one. We need like a one cheat you can use throughout where like you get to remove one or something like that.
I mean,
so
if
can
the game
increase my odds.
if the game's a hit,
I know.
maybe we'll adjust it.
Well, we could make some rules. I'm gonna say D just seems so in your face obvious about what we're doing. I'm gonna say D.
It is A.
Damn it!
Captain Fly and the Sexy Girls at the Nightclub. You're good. You're doing good at least narrowing it down. You always narrow it down. You always go for the wrong one.
Well, I'm just saying with like the games these days, it just seems like they're not trying to hide crap in their title anymore. I was just like, well, the D. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like we're just going to tell you exactly what we're doing.
And that's exactly why I chose that title, because I knew.
Good for you.
I knew.
Mm-hmm. Like I know how she's going to think about this.
So,
damn.
All right. And we got
so close, but I've gotten nothing.
I've got one more.
All right.
All right.
I mean, I've already lost, but
for
fine.
sure. But no, this is just for fun. Yeah, just because. Let's see if you can at least get one. Okay, this is a third-person shooter survival zombie game that is also an open-world sandbox game where you can collect up to 4 weapons, 6 cars, and encounter up to 200 zombies.
Ooh.
Okay. Is this A, Die Zombie Sausage Die, B, Biozard Corporation, C, Island Town Zombie Paradise, or D, Dead Quest?
I like C or D for it. And then I'm like, I feel like I should go against what my first instinct is, which this time it'll be right.
I mean, go do the opposite of what you've done last time.
Okay, well, okay, C.
See?
Yeah.
You're correct.
Hey, see? My gut wanted to go D.
Yeah, see?
So I was like, go against it.
I
just got to not trust my instincts.
Island Town Zombie Paradise.
There we go.
There you go. So there. Now we tried a new game.
I like that.
You got out of having to describe a game.
Yes.
So there you go.
Which is always good for the tired brain some mornings, you know.
Mm-hmm. But that's all I got. I mean, I thought that would be a fun little thing to do and test out a game. Mm-hmm. And if our listeners, if you like the new game, if you want to hear,
let us know.
Yeah, let us know if you want to hear more of that. We can definitely do more of that. It's fun. Yeah. I thought it would be more fun and appropriate, and I'd love to hear when Todd gets back if he will play it again sometime. And
I bet he would love this one
because
he doesn't want to come up with his own.
It's
you know,
it's multiple choice, and we could see. I mean, here's another point system you two can compete on. You know, he can choose one, you can choose one. See who comes out of the game alive, and it's all by choice. I'm not making you do anything.
Yeah, we're not. It's our own fault when we fail. I mean, it was always our own fault, I guess, but.
But this is more of a guessing
game. But this
game.
Isn't like Steven gives you a point because he likes it type situation. It's just, well, you got it right because that was the name.
Exactly.
And I didn't make the game up. So.
That's right. So I feel like this would be I think this would be a fun game, and we can definitely extend it more and play around with it and do more than just 4. I figured 4 was a nice testing ground. See how you did, and funny enough, the fact that you fell into my traps.
You're like, yes!
Because I did. I was looking at these games and I was like, I guarantee, because we've talked about that so much, how these PC games have these terrible names. And we're just like, they're not even trying. And then I thought, let me put some of these in here that just are so simple but would fit so perfectly. So
Yep. Because we don't know anymore.
we don't. But hey, this is our show for today. It's a little shorter than our usual, but hey, next week, oh boy, next week,
some big ones.
yeah, it's going to be beefy because we got the big games are coming out. We're going to have reviews galore and maybe a few other special surprises we won't get into right now, but we'll see.
Yeah, we got
we'll
a
see
lot,
what
we
happens.
got a lot of cool stuff coming, guys. We really do.
Yeah. But anyway, like I said, that's our show. Thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in every week. Remember, if you like our stuff, you can follow us on Twitter. Keep up with us at Super Mega Crash. You can find us on Instagram to view our weekly icon art. You can shoot us an email at supermegacrash@gmail.com. And you know what? We'll read it on the show if you do. If you just want to say, hey, you guys suck, we'll read it. We'll read it. You can also support the show by...
But we're gonna do it in a voice that makes you sound like a really terrible person.
Yeah. So do it anyway, and let's see what happens. You don't have to use an alias if you want. You can support our show by pressing the like button or leaving a review on your preferred platform. You can even go to patreon.com/Pencil and Paper Productions. And should you want to share the love, you can tell your friends to find us on the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network, found on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you find your podcasts. Thank you so much for listening. I am Stephen White.
And I am Lacia Finley.
Join us again next week, Super Mega Crash siblings. But until then, game on.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.